time for Sports on the Bayou, a detailed account of the sports scene in Louisiana. Mike Detillier, Bobby Hebert, and Rich Maury will break down the weekly Saints game, brought to you by the American flag, as well as the St. Martin and Bourke weekly LSU breakdown. Harry McCullough will bring us a Louisiana's Cajun Bayou LaFourche Parish segment, featuring key games of local interest. Dr. Pat, our favorite ENT, is always on top of the
asking all them questions. Why you asking all them questions? Making statements.
Stan Graba will bring us local pertinent medical sports information as well as high school sports. Martin False, that's me, will open up the mics in the crowd to see what's on the fans' mind. More talk and plenty of audience questions. Live from the Eugene and Lorraine Falls studios in Houma, Louisiana, it's time for Sports on the Bayou. And here's Mike Detillier.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another version of Sports on the Bayou. Mike Detillier, along with the Cajun Cannon, Bobby Hebert, Rich Maury, will be back with a lot to talk about here on Sports on the Bayou.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Ida, insurance companies may try to pay you much less than your losses or even deny your claim altogether. St. Martin and Bourke and Hoffa are partnering together to help you during this difficult time. Our hurricane insurance recovery attorneys will fight for you and your loved ones. Go to myidaclaim.com for your free case review today. Never give up because your insurance company has denied your claim, and never accept a lowball offer. Let St. Martin and Bourke and Hoffa help you weather the storm. Visit myidaclaim.com today.
Hi, I'm Harvey Sharp, owner of Bayou Disinfection and Restoration Services. Whether it's your home or your business, Bayou specializes in disinfection application, along with water, fire, mold damage cleanup. Bayou's supercharged delivery system, coupled with our hospital-grade disinfectant, revolutionizes the standard of clean and is proven effective as a virucide, sanitizer, disinfectant, and a fungicide. Call Bayou today to get your free consultation at 985-322-3003.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. You'll remember LaFourche. And by St. Martin and Bourke, attorneys at law. Know your rights. Sports on the Bayou corporate sponsors are South Louisiana Bank, i.e. Terrebonne General Health Systems and their Community Sports Institute. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. And BioPure, disinfecting environmental services. Now let's go back to Sports on the Bayou with Mike Detillier, Bobby Hebert, and Rich Maury.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou, guys. The Saints 18-10 over the Carolina Panthers. Now it's 16 quarters of play. The Saints defense has given up a grand total of 2 touchdowns.
Unbelievable.
This is the NFL. 2 touchdowns in 4 games. Now here's the negative. They've only scored 4 touchdowns in 4 games. But their defense, after a bit of a rough start, really pieced it together. Offensively, it's about not turning the ball over, making sure Alvin gets enough touches as a receiver. Because, man, every time he touched the ball as a runner, I could have took a team picture of the Carolina Panther defense. That's how it looked. And Taysom Hill got over 250 total yards, passing, rushing.
Yeah, he had 265. That's going to be key. That's all you can expect from Taysom right now. You see, as a running quarterback and passing, if he has 250 and he doesn't turn it over, I think that's all you can ask of him.
But that's all he got.
Well, no, that's true. But true is all he got.
They shut him down.
That's what he has to do. That's what he has to do. We +4 for the season. We were +2 for the game. At one time, we were +7. But that's going to be key going forward against Atlanta. And if we win, hopefully you got to cheer for the Lambs. You got to cheer for them against the 49ers, because we would win, and we'd have to go to Los Angeles. So payback. No call. How about go to Los Angeles and win? I think that'd be that type game where we'd have to, I'm looking ahead, we'd have to play great on defense and win the turnover battle. Then you have a chance to win on the road. But Mike, you talk about how efficient and Rich, how inefficient we were, like sustaining the football and drives. I know this driving Coach Payton crazy because under Drew Brees, we were one of the best third down offenses well over a dozen years. It was like us, it was like the Patriots. Guess who they had? Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers with the Packers. But at one point on Sunday, they had failed to convert on 20 of 21 third downs. That dates back to the fourth quarter of the Bucs game in December 19th, week 15. So how can you have sustained drives? You look on the season, we're only converting on 36%. Well, guess what? We're a little better. We were 38%. That's not winning football. We need to be like 45 or above. Then you're having those sustained drives. But the one thing, Rich, I told Mike this, and this is easy to figure out. I'm not a mathematician. Now, my dad was the engineer. I had my mom's brains.
So you didn't have to ask me, Mike, figure this out percentage-wise. Give it to him, Mayberry.
Allowing 20 or fewer points under Sean Payton. It's a big sample size. 20 or fewer points. They've now played 100 games under Sean Payton. We've allowed 20 or fewer points, and 92 wins and 8 losses. So 92%. So if our defense say, hey, scoring defense, bend but don't break, only give up 20 points or less, Saints got a great chance to win.
Well, I think the biggest thing is the attitude of that defense. I mean, they're playing for shutouts. They really are. I mean, they every game they come out there and their attitude is so aggressive and it's so confident that they're just shutting every. I'm so impressed with the defense on a consistent week in and week out basis, which they have to be.
Cam
Jordan, speaking of attitude,
my goodness.
Cam Jordan, I mean, you want to get rid of a player a year too early than a year too late, because if we're going to get the future franchise quarterback to take us over the top to have a chance to win a Super Bowl, you got to give up something to get something. And Cam, even though he's up in age, this is interesting. Cam right now, 11 and a half sacks. That's the 6th time in his career he's recorded double-digit sacks. He matched the great Ricky Jackson franchise record. He's one of 5 active NFL players to record at least 6 double-digit sacks, 6 seasons with 10 or more sacks. So when Cam Jordan, and one thing, and this is a big key, Mike, we know this, that the one reason why Cam has produced, because he got off to a slow start. You know why? David Onyemata wasn't available. He was suspended for 6 games. You didn't have Davenport. And he said, hey, you know what? You give me Onyemata and Davenport, can't double team everyone, then you get that pressure, the pocket collapse, then I can produce.
And the good news, he's got over 100 sacks. I bet over 30 of them were against the Falcons. Right. And that's who you play
next. That's what we need Sunday. We've said this before. Look at this one thing. How many times are we getting after Matt Ryan? Mike, it's unbelievable. When we sack Matt Ryan 3 times or more, because it's a big sample size. You know, it's Matt Ryan, Drew Brees, Matt Ryan still playing. We sack him 3 times or more, the Saints win. 100%, not 90%, 100% of the time. Now, the first time we lost,
2 sacks and late.
We didn't get after Matt Ryan, and then that's going to be a key. Because if we don't get after Matt Ryan, the Falcons have a great chance to beat us come Sunday.
Yeah, any quarterback.
We'll go to the highlights. So the Saints win over the Carolina Panthers early on. Taysom Hill out in the flat to Alvin Kamara.
Where was that last week?
Well, somebody was on top on top of Ian Book last week. And then, Meyer, he comes in. Man, he's kicking the field goals. I give him credit. Now, the extra point, man.
That could have been critical, too. That was brutal.
But look at this. He just gets waylaid by P.J.
You know who's the unsung hero? I'm telling you. He's the Swiss Army knife, jack of all trades on defense, P.J. Williams. Yeah, look what they asked him to do. But he's played nickel, strong, or free safety.
And this is late in the second quarter.
That was critical.
And hitting Marquez Callaway, and it sets up Mayhew to come in to kick a field goal to make it 10-9.
That could have been
a touchdown.
That could have been a 6-point swing because of the field position.
This is probably the only really good interior run the Saints had the entire game for Alvin. Most of his shots were off to the edge, and then Taysom throws it out in the flat to Kamara for the score.
Well, they always say, why not always just toss sweep or get Kamara out wide? The defense in the NFL, they're too fast. You can do that now and then, but you got to be able to run between the tackles or because the defense is going to exploit you.
Then Brett Maher hits the damn extra point and gives them a shot.
Yeah, because it's not 2 scores, it's only 1 scorer. How about C.D. Deuce?
But one thing with C.D. Deuce.
I'm so glad he's on our side. We got to pay him. I tell you what, Marcus Williams, I don't know. The fans might say, I don't know, want to pay Marcus Williams. We got to pay Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
Yep.
Mike, he never has a bad day in life. He wakes up every day of his life. He thinks it's the most awesome thing that he gets paid to play football. And he takes the approach, Mike, that, okay, well, what do you do? You know, because we do this in training camp. What do you do, like, in your spare time when you're not playing football? Well, what's your hobbies? Football. Well, no, we know that. That's your job. No, what do you do? What do you focus on? Man, I'm focused on ball. Listen, I'm a football player.
I remember one time you making a comment, man, they don't pay you this kind of money if you stocking the shelves at Walmart. Come on now. I'm playing in the NFL.
I'm playing in the NFL, and I love my lifestyle. I love my lifestyle. I want to be a pro football player as long as I could be.
Yep.
And he backs it up. The fans, how can you not embrace? I don't know why he wants to be called CD Deuce, but I'll call him whatever he wants as long as he's producing. CD Deuce, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, whatever. No, he's a baller.
And one of the things that dropped him in the draft, he ran his mouth about, man, I ain't worried about all this other stuff. All I want to do is play ball. And some people took that the wrong way, and it dropped him from being a second-round pick to a fourth-round pick.
Well, because he's kind of crazy. He's but he's a good crazy, and you're glad he's on your team. You don't want to be on the bonus team.
Over the years, Louisiana's Cajun Bayou has seen more than its fair share of challenges. We're no strangers to adversity, and we know what it's like to struggle. These are unprecedented times, and while people will say this time is like nothing they've ever seen, we've heard that before. And just like all the other times, we'll get through this. Remember the good times. Remember LaFouche.
Tony Alford and Priscilla Larpenter have been the foundation of what is now Alford & Associates. Their passion and vision have been embedded company-wide. It's not just about insurance. It's about making sure that our community is strong and protected for the next generation.
We analyze and then custom design your insurance policies to fit your business's needs, not the insurance carriers.
It's quite simple. It's the mindset of our organization to protect you from life's hardships.
Your benefits are our business.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. You'll remember LaFouche. And by St. Martin and Bork, attorneys at law. Know your rights. Now let's go back to Sports on the Bayou with Mike Detillier, Bobby Hebert, and Rich Maudie.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou, guys. LSU in the Texas Bowl against Kansas State. More and more.
Tonight, we're going to watch that Tuesday night.
More and more we've talked about it, that would be some academic issues here with LSU. Anywhere from 13 to 16 players academically ineligible for this game. Now, LSU's not going to announce it, but I can say it. And they've been knowing this for a couple weeks, that some of the guys have not been going to class. And Coach O in his final farewell to the team said, hey, listen, guys, I can't do anything anymore. But the new guy coming in, you're going to find out that he's not going to let anything slide.
Well, you can't let anything slide because we all had a self-imposed one-year bowl ban, remember, because of the NCAA investigation. They got to play by the rules right now. And you know what's sorry.
And because of the basketball situation.
Yeah, and then some players don't realize. They all think they're going to the NFL.
Every one of them.
What's the percentage? You know this number. What's the percentage of college students, college football players that make the NFL?
2%.
Yeah, probably. That's
so I think you need to go to school and maybe have some insurance policy to get a real job in the real world if you have to, and you can exploit because you are an LSU Tiger. You can't just blow off school. Come on,
You've got to go to class, and that has been the issue. And I know it's ongoing with them. I do know the new coach has laid the law down that I'm not going to let it slide. This is going to be checked daily.
He might not let it slide, but he better win.
But but also, too, the opt-outs. Neil Farrell, training for the NFL draft, who really played great for him at defensive tackle. Damone Clark, I think more than any other player I've seen in a year time frame, has really helped his draft
He
status.
maybe has more upside even than Patrick Queen, Mike, who came
He's
on.
a lot
with the
bigger
Ravens.
dude, I know
yes,
that.
Yes,
and
That's
he
what I'm-
gets it now. He gets it. It took him a little while. And then Ty Davis-Price just a couple of days ago announced he's coming out. And listen, I would never criticize you for coming out early, just like if you decide to stay. My thing about it is you better understand you might not get picked as high as some people are telling you, family members, agents, whatever, and be prepared to make a team as a free agent somewhere.
Well, and you look at it, the Texas Bowl. There's a little history there. The Tigers, if you look at overall just playing in bowl games, 28 and 23-1 in bowl games, including one appearance in the Texas Bowl. Do y'all remember? I remember watching this game, and he was kind of running all around for his life. The Tigers beat Texas Tech and Pat Mahomes.
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes, 56-27. That was December the 29th, 2015. They played in the Texas Bowl, beat the Red Raiders and Pat Mahomes. That's when Leonard Fournette had 5 touchdowns in that game to win that bowl game. Now, if you look at LSU and Kansas State, we haven't played too often, but Kansas State is 9-13 in bowl games, including they played in the Texas Bowl. They're 1-1, so this is their 3rd appearance. But LSU and Kansas State have only met once in football. The Tigers beat the Wildcats. I was in college in 21-0, September the 13th, 1980 in Tiger Stadium.
Well,
that's what they played in 1980.
Is this rumor correct that Miles is going to do the coin toss?
Well, why would they do that, Rich?
It's a rumor. I'm trying to start something.
Oh, trying to start the. Okay,
I know he's
all right.
one of your favorite coaches, ex-coaches.
No, favorite coaches, but he has more problems than me.
That's saying a lot.
Because
that is really saying a mouthful.
On the field, off the field. Yeah, Les Miles ain't worried about me no more. He's like retired now. He just got to keep his marriage together.
Yeah, well.
Well, one thing with Les,
19 million.
He didn't avoid many people, but one guy he did avoid.
Yeah, because he thought, I don't know, hey, Bear, he's crazy. I don't know. I don't know what he's
Well,
going
you
to tell
gave
me.
him a legit reason for it. You almost yanked his arm out the socket.
Well, because I'm not just winging it. I might wing it. I might wing. No, I didn't get physical. I might wing it and say a few outrageous things, but I got facts. See, I have stuff to back up what I'm saying, so I just don't sound like the crazy guy in the corner just yelling to be yelling. So, no, Les knows that.
One of the things that's going to be interesting is how LSU uses the transfer portal, because now that's becoming a bigger and bigger
transfer portal, Mike. How about look? He's going to be $1 million quarterback.
Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams from Oklahoma. I don't know. He might go with Lincoln Riley to USC.
Oh, I bet he does.
Georgia's stepping up right now, and all of a sudden, you know, the alumni. Mike, I don't know where this is going to end or what's going to come about.
It is the wild, wild west of the NFL, so to speak, in college football.
It'll be interesting. Rich, think about this, and Mike, we're talking about this. They have guys now coming out of high school could potentially, on their potential, be millionaires before they even play in college.
Right, so how much you think some school or some alumni is going to give Arch Manning? Before he takes one snap in college football, he's going to be a millionaire.
Oh, without a doubt.
So think about this for a minute. Where does this end? It doesn't stop because the money is unlimited.
But you're a capitalist,
now,
Rich. You're a capitalist, so you got to keep it in
Well, I know, but I'm
perspective.
saying, this is just
the genie's out the bottle, Rich.
What?
The genie
there's
is out.
unlimited funds out, right? Anybody could write a check for anything now.
You're going to
Doesn't
have
matter.
the
money's
haves and the
crazy.
have-nots.
So where does it go? I mean, I'm just curious as to what this thing looks like 10 years from now, 20 years from now.
Can Penn State keep up with the Joneses, Rich? You're going to have
Penn State can't keep up with freaking Sally right now. They can't keep up with anybody.
They're going to be asking you for money now, Rich. We got to get
What do you mean be asking me? That's all they've been doing for 45 years, asking me for money. They forgot I was a free agent. Jeez.
But it's going to be I think a big exodus from some schools that maybe aren't set up for it. But you look already, Texas A&M, Alabama, LSU is doing a lot behind the scenes to set up this situation with name, image, likeness. USC, that's the first thing Lincoln Riley talked about. We got to set up a plan here because we got to be competitive. Ohio State, Michigan, they've set it up. Teams like Penn State, they're going to get picked clean of that top.
But they have set it up. It's
Well,
just
it'd be
whether they do
interesting
it
to
right.
see
They do it right now.
And a
Whether
team
they
like
do it
USC,
right.
Hollywood, and all that, these young players and all, then you get Steven Spielberg and all around, and the alumni asking them for money, and then
Bobby,
all
you
of a
could have
sudden
been
you
a
go to
Hollywood
USC.
star back if it was your day.
Yes, I mean,
Because you brought, you're not only a football player.
right.
There's other talents.
If I have to act, I get that.
Was your business interrupted by Hurricane Ida? You may be entitled to compensation. Insurance companies may try to pay you much less than your losses, or even deny your claim altogether. St. Martin and Bork and Hafiz Duval are partnering together to fight for your fair payout. Go to myidaclaim.com for your free case review today. Never give up because your insurance company has denied your claim, and never accept a lowball offer. Let St. Martin and Bork and Hafiz Duval help you weather the storm. Visit myidaclaim.com today.
Cardiovascular Institute of the South's Ambulatory Surgery Center offers patients advanced and innovative outpatient procedures using the latest technology and treatment options. The first of its kind in the region, this center provides our patients and their families with high-quality care in a convenient, comfortable, and safe environment at a lower cost. Trust your care to the cardiovascular care team you know and love at CIS. Learn more at cardio.com.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. You'll remember LaFouche. And by St. Martin and Bork, attorneys at law. Know your rights. Sports on the Bayou corporate sponsors are South Louisiana Bank, i.e. Terrebonne General Health Systems and their Community Sports Institute. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. And BioPure, disinfecting environmental services. Now let's go back to Sports on the Bayou with Mike Detillier, Bobby Hebert, and Rich Maudie.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou. Got Martin in the suite with Miss Lorraine.
All right, Mama's pumped up. Mama's with the CAJUNs today, and Mama was telling me this morning at breakfast, you know, San Francisco's got to lose. Saints have to win. So I said, well, Mama, how are we going to pull that off? She goes, I'm praying to Sister Euphemia, who was a elder nun at St. Francis. Mama says every time she prays to Sister Euphemia, one time she prayed to her, Saints intercepted to save the victory right after. So Mama's got this pipeline. So Mama, you got to pray for, she don't like to pray for anybody to lose, but you got to pray for San Francisco to lose and the Saints to win. So you got to work two of them, okay?
Yep.
You got that, Mom? She said she got it. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to walk out here. I'm passing the legends right here. We're going to get to the legends in a little while. It's a lot of knowledge there at one table and a lot of stories to go with it. I want to come to Cody Gray. One of our naming sponsors.
You know, Martin, before you get to Cody, Rich just told me, here's in the Bayou, LaFouche and all, is that, you could say,
like Joe Burrow.
Is that Joe Burrow's like cousin?
It sure does look like Ian looks like Joe
little
Burrow.
brother.
His little brother.
He'd be wearing his jersey.
So I'm going to get Jay just to extend a little time because Cody is one of our sponsors, Louisiana's Cajun Bayou, along with St. Martin and Bork. Can we have a round of applause for the naming sponsors? All right, Cody, stand on up. What's happening in LaFouche? Y'all got some good things going.
Sure, so there's always something going on. It's a little chilly there right now, but we're doing pretty good. So we had a great Christmas, a great New Year's. We're very, very appreciative for all of the visitors that came out, that supported all of our local businesses during the holiday season, that bought local, that showed up in a big way, that helped, especially, you know, as we recover from Ida and as those businesses get back to normal. We're just very appreciative of all the visitors and all of the locals that went out and bought locally this year. But we are cautiously and optimistically wading into 2022. We have great hopes and great plans, and we look forward to welcoming everybody back to the Bayou.
And how does it feel sitting right next to Joe Burrow?
It's, you know, I mean, it's a lot to take in. It's a lot to take in, but I'm very privileged.
He looks a little more like Kevin Bacon to me. instead of. What you think?
Well, it'd be like if Joe Burrow and Kevin Bacon made a baby.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'll tell you what.
He'll start signing autographs at the visitor center.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for what y'all do in LaFouche. Hey, look, he said it was cold in LaFouche, like LaFouche is the North Pole.
It's cold.
It's cold down the bayou right now.
It is.
Terrebonne, LaFouche, it's cold.
All right, so we're going to add a little time on here because I know Joe's dying to hear about some of these umpires and referees. And oh, wait, we're doing that next segment, Harry? Okay, we're going to buy a little time here. We'll take a break. When we come back, then we'll be ready for Harry.
Over the years, Louisiana's Cajun Bayou has seen more than its fair share of challenges. We're no strangers to adversity, and we know what it's like to struggle. These are unprecedented times, and while people will say this time is like nothing they've ever seen, we've heard that before. And just like all the other times, we'll get through this. Remember the good times. Remember LaFouche.
Curtis Calais Welding has been providing contract labor for the offshore oil and gas industry for over 28 years. Curtis Calais Welding is now hiring. All applicants must have a TWIC card and be able to pass an occupational medical exam and a drug screen. Triple C Towing has a fleet of 2 inland tugs to provide service for the oil and gas industry. All vessels are provided with experienced personnel, and we do what we say we will do. Curtis Calais Welding, now hiring, and Triple C Towing, ready to work.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. You'll remember LaFouche. And by St. Martin and Bourke, attorneys at law. Know your rights. Now let's go back to Sports on the Bayou with Mike Detillier, Bobby Hebert, and Rich Maury.
Back here on Sports on the Bayou. Martin, I'll throw it to you.
All right, we figured since Bobby already tagged Ian as Joe Burrow and I tagged him as Kevin Bacon, we'd let him help us with the corporate sponsors.
Yeah, this is the offspring.
See what he's got. See if he's got some stage presence, and maybe he could end up in Hollywood, okay? You ready?
Yep. So we got our corporate sponsors, South Louisiana Bank, IE, Terrebonne General Health System, Community Sports Institute, Barker Honda, Alford and Associates, and BioPure.
There we go.
Atta baby.
I wonder if he could dance like Kevin Bacon did in Footloose.
Yeah, he probably dances more like Joe, because Joe's a little bit chick. He can't dance like Hebert can.
All right.
No, listen, Joe Burrow's stiff compared to me.
Hey, major day. You got Joe Burrow
You could do it.
and Kevin Bacon. You could take that home with you, all right? We're going to come over to Harry. Harry's got a special guest.
Yeah, it's good. Get the Gat. I saw your boy Joe Burrow was going to get the Gat this weekend like he did with LSU. Anyway, we got a good guest. Eddie Vera is here. Not the lead singer from Eddie Vedder. But Eddie Vera is the regional coordinator for officials, which is a big deal because a lot like school teachers, officials are kind of aging out right now.
Yes.
And you guys, you've taken over the job of coordinating that job, and you guys need officials, and you guys on a drive right now.
Yeah, we are actively recruiting. If I can back up a little bit, I did post on the Buzz December 20th that we're actively recruiting. Anybody that's interested, if you go to lhsaa.arbitersports.com and look for the registration tab and just follow the instructions. Also, we do have a number of officials that have done college ball, junior college ball, guys that are in their first year of calling baseball. So everyone's welcome. There'll be classroom and on-the-field training. Again, everybody's welcome. We'd be glad to welcome you to the association. And hey, look, let's be honest. You do this to make a little extra spending money. And the pay's decent, I got to say. And not only that, but to me, it's the best seat in the house. There's so much talent in this area. A lot of guys that have gone on to pro ball, that are playing college ball now. Just a tremendous amount of talent. But lhsaa.arbitersports.com. My email, if you will, is Eduardo, EDWARDO, Vera, VERA, 43 at yahoo.com. My number is 985-226-9121. Please email me or call me, and I look forward to hearing from you.
Yeah, Eddie, that deadline is on February 8th.
February 8th,
for
yes.
folks to get in.
To register, correct.
So, but there's a lot of different programs, and you're looking for all sports, I'm sure, right?
Every sport is low in numbers. The current season coming up is baseball. Again, thank you for pointing that out. The deadline to register is February 8th.
And there's different programs. We were talking about it. If you're a military guy, you can go from what's the program?
Major League Baseball is offering a program. It's called Battlefields to Ball Fields. They'll help veterans with their registration, with the purchasing of equipment, things of that nature. So really good program. As far as recruiting, I'll be reaching out to the National Guard. I'll be going to Nichols. I'll be going to Fletcher, and even contemplating going to the schools and see if I can talk to the career counselor to see what I can do there.
It'd be good to get some young guys in there,
Definitely.
and I guess that's what we had talked about a little bit before. The young guys aren't coming up. Well, any reason why you're not seeing young guys come into the job?
I think a lot of it is unfortunately the horror stories I hear at local ball, rec ball, or what, and it's not like that everywhere, but you do hear it from time to time.
Yeah. And you know, look, you not only have just boys sports anymore. Now we're doing girls sports.
Correct.
Too. So you got double amount of games we used to play. We used to play basketball. We'd have 8th grade, 9th grade, and JV and varsity.
Right.
But now you have 8 games, not 4 games.
And if I may, we cover Terrebonne, LaFouche, St. James, St. Mary parishes. So pretty expansive area. A lot of good baseball to see and partake in.
What kind of training goes into the referee?
Great question. We have a camp, an umpires camp. We have 8 schools involved, all local schools, of course, and it's going to be held at the Nichols baseball facility. So we'll have classroom portion in the morning, and then we'll have actual application of the instruction with live baseball. So there will be classroom and live baseball application of the mechanics.
Yeah, real important thing. So good luck, Addie. I appreciate it. So it's Louisiana High School Athletic Association.orbiter.sports.com. So give them a call and sign up. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thanks so much, guys. We'll be back with more sports on the Bayou.
Was your business interrupted by Hurricane Ida? You may be entitled to compensation. Insurance companies may try to pay you much less than your losses, or even deny your claim altogether. St. Martin and Bork and Hoffa's Duval are partnering together to fight for your fair payout. Go to myidaclaim.com for your free case review today. Never give up because your insurance company has denied your claim, and never accept a lowball offer. Let St. Martin and Bork and Hoffa's Duval help you weather the storm. Visit myidaclaim.com today.
Here at South Louisiana Bank, we support our neighbors, the organizers, the helpers, the leaders, the dreamers. We support those that move our community forward. Louisiana has grown from the dedication, commitment, and loyalty of the people who call this beautiful place home. We are proud to offer our services to the communities in South Louisiana. South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. You'll remember LaFouche. And by St. Martin and Bork, attorneys at law. Know your rights. Sports on the Bayou corporate sponsors are South Louisiana Bank, i.e. Terrebonne General Health Systems and their Community Sports Institute. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. And BioPure, disinfecting environmental services. Now let's go back to Sports on the Bayou with Mike Detillier, Bobby Hebert, and Rich Maudie.
Welcome back to Sports on the Bayou. Before we go to Stan's segment, special shout out to a young man, grew up in Houma, went to Ellender High School, and you got to see him play New Year's Day.
He got off.
Tay Martin, 10 catches, 104 yards, 3 touchdowns against Notre Dame. This is a guy, man, I watched him in basketball, great basketball player. Goes to Washington State first. I don't ever remember a guy from the Bayou ever going to Washington State.
No, you think
Carl Morgan went to UCLA.
But you think Pullman, Washington, then he ends up in Stillwater.
Mike Leach was there. He fit into that offense. Mike leaves. He goes to Oklahoma State. And, man, he's done a fabulous job. So congratulations to Tay. Stan does a super job each and every week talking about the high school ranks. And so we're going to go to him and the setup he has for us.
As we ring in the new year, we want to remind everyone that Terrebonne Parish will be celebrating its 200th birthday. That's right, established in 1822, our community will take the occasion to spotlight a different discipline of growth in each month of 2022. Sports will be one of those disciplines, and although our history related to games and athletic endeavors will be celebrated throughout the year, the more specific spotlight on sports will be in October with Les Sports de Terrebonne, the sports of Terrebonne since 1822. We'll be looking back on everything related to competitive sports on the high school level with the early 20th century high school teams. With the inception of Terrebonne High in 1908, we will meander through the history of some of our parish's competitive squads and star athletes. We'll stroll through history featuring some of our schools, such as St. Lucie Catholic's stellar basketball teams of the early 50s, the rise of St. Joseph Benedictine down in Chauvin in the early 60s, and the spectacular athletes that played at Southdown High School before integration. We'll relive stories of stellar performances such as the fastest 4x400-yard relay team in the country in 1973, and highlight the story of the East Side Kid who was the national punt, pass, and kick finalist in San Francisco in 1974. Many didn't know about our area's love affair with boxing at one time. And how about the national spotlight we once had with drag racing in the NHRA? Did you know that the fastest racing team in the world was from right here in Houma? Southland Drags and all the great racing in our area will be celebrated. And we'll certainly look back at our biggest professional sports franchise in the area, the Houma Indians. Many future major leaguers got their start here with the Evangeline League, and many players coming to our parish to play for the Indians have become lifelong residents. And there's so much more: the Bayou Bucks, the Houma Oilers, the high school state championships, the individual sports stars. We'll relive it all in our 200th birthday year. And another big reminder, next week in our Sports on the Bayou segment right here on HTV 10, we'll be announcing the 6 members of the 2022 inductee class into the Bayou Region Athletic Hall of Fame. The ceremony is set for Thursday, June 23rd at Cypress Columns in Gray. Join us next week as we'll let you know the 6 Bayou Region greats that will be joining the 24 prior inductees on the Wall of Fame. This will be our 5th inductee class, and the class is as strong as ever. Again, those 6 inductees will be released to the public right here first on Sports on the Bayou next week.
Thank you, Stan. Do a great job each and every week, always highlighting the guys from our area, Lafourche, Terrebonne, Assumption. But Martin, I got to ask you, man, can you name me the 4 guys on that state championship relay team?
Melvin Johnson, Ricky Britt, Herman Verdon, and Robert Lagarde.
You got it.
How about that?
Good job, Mark.
That was household.
Down
name.
here, you knew it.
That was household.
But sometimes
name.
your memories start to, as you get older.
Well, I'm not there yet.
Well, hey,
Stan wants to add something to that package.
Listen, just real quick, the one plea that we do have for everybody, we mentioned that Terrebonne Parish is celebrating 200 years of being in existence. In October, we're going to highlight sports. But what we are asking is anybody out there who has any kind of memorabilia, it's going to be put on display at the main library. We do have an old Houma Indians jersey, which is kind of cool.
Yes.
We have all kind of things. Bobby, thanks for the helmet. Of course, it's Lafourche Parish, so we can't use it. But
it's still, you win a state championship, the game ball, helmet, and all that. It just shows you.
You wouldn't want to play in that helmet today.
The padding is like
no padding.
There are sometimes, Rich is going to appreciate this, there's sometimes you say stuff up there, Bobby, and I think to myself, it was that helmet.
No.
And I think you're right. And I think you're right.
If you look at a padding compared to now, I mean, I'm not saying it was a leather helmet you fold in your back pocket or the old straps and all, but it wasn't much different. Look like cushion.
No, listen, and just real quick, thanks for that. We have it on display. It's actually where the Hall of Fame is in the hospital. But when we did get it, and I don't know how many people saw it that day when you brought it in, I happened not to be here. It is amazing how far we've we've come with the technology and things like that.
Big
so
time.
thank you very much for that. But again, anybody, give us a call here at the station. Give us any way or something you have that you think would be awesome to put on display. We'll put it on display and we'll get it right back to you at the end. And my last parting statement, Tay Martin, man, what a game he had in the Fiesta Bowl.
That was awesome.
So right quick, Mike, where's his draft status?
I think he'd probably be a middle round pick. Okay. It's going to be a lot of receivers selected. What I remember about him, he was our Bayou region most valuable player. He was, you know, because you mostly think of a receiver being a bit of a diva. He was the most humble guy. I can't believe he said I won the MVP. You know who was in that race with him? Amik Robertson.
Whoa.
Think about that. And Amik's playing now with the Las Vegas Raiders.
Well, his stock went up after that game.
Yeah, it really did well.
And Stan, you might want to catch Coach Alba while he's here to get one of those softballs because they won 112 games in a row.
Yes.
That would be some good memorabilia to have. So don't ask him for his coaching shorts. He was superstitious. He probably still has the same pair. He might have them on underneath what he's wearing.
Well, real quick, what's interesting is that the other disciplines like commerce and stuff, they have to go back all the way to 1822. For sports, we found out it all starts in Terrebonne Parish in 1908. There were no fishing rodeos before 1908. There was no, and if you talk about fishing and trapping, it was commerce back then, right?
Right.
It wasn't. So we start at 1908, and that's the inception of Terrebonne High School for having sports in our area.
Good. All right, we'll take a break. We're coming back with Dr. Pat. He is warming up over there in the corner.
Over the years, Louisiana's Cajun Bayou has seen more than its fair share of challenges. We're no strangers to adversity, and we know what it's like to struggle. These are unprecedented times, and while people will say this time is like nothing they've ever seen, we've heard that before. And just like all the other times, we'll get through this. Remember the good times. Remember LaFouche.
Are you looking for a new or used vehicle? Well, come check us out at Barker Honda because we get new, updated inventory daily. We're offering top dollar for your trade.
Give us the opportunity to buy your car.
We offer new and used financing.
Come check out our award-winning trucks.
For cars, trucks, SUVs, come check us out.
Our sales specialists can help find a vehicle just for you.
We're getting new inventory daily.
Come down and see us on Martin Luther King Boulevard in Holman. Always remember,
it's better at Barker.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. You'll remember LaFouche. And by St. Martin and Bourke, attorneys at law. Know your rights. Now let's go back to Sports on the Bayou with Mike Detillier, Bobby Hebert, and Rich Marty.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou, and it's everybody wants to hear him is the Doc. He's up to bat.
Asking all the questions. Why you asking all the questions? Make a statement. Asking all the questions.
Let's give the floor to our Doctor of Curiosity and the voice of the people, Dr. Pat Hagan.
Never gets asking all the questions. Why you asking all the questions? Making statements.
Now at the end of the
All right,
segment,
Doc, you got it, brother.
Now at the end of the segment, Bobby is going to show us his John Travolta dance moves on top of the table. But anyway,
yeah, who's going to get him up there?
Or it's actually who's going to get him down. But anyway,
night fever.
No, I could get him down. Getting him up would be the issue.
Right. So one of the questions I was talking to Bobby and Rich about was that it seems like over the last couple of years, the quality of the quarterback in play in the NFL has been dropping off to where this year defenses and running games are being turned to as deciding the outcome of games. And then you see the one guy that looks like a classic quarterback is Joe Burrow. And so has the quality decreased, and why? And what does Joe Burrow have that the others don't besides Jamar Chase?
Okay, I'll answer it.
You want to go first?
I think that what you've seen is a big group of quarterbacks we've watched for so many years. They got old, and the replacement guys weren't there for them. They just weren't. And now you see a Mahomes and a Josh Allen and a Joe Burrow. They got the right stuff to do it.
Justin Herbert.
And Justin's right there too. So I think you're going to see this class build, But we got used to watching Manning, Brady, Breeze, Roethlisberger, and you got used to those guys.
Yeah.
And they've either retired or a guy like Matt Ryan getting old, and the replacements aren't there.
They grow, and plus the kids today are not getting a chance to grow into the positions that
throwing them in right away.
They're thrown in, so the game has changed so radically. It's so much faster. I mean, you ask every college kid that comes into the league quarterback, the game's like boom, boom, boom. So I don't think the young quarterbacks
Man,
have
look,
a
Ian
chance
Book
to
was
get it
freaking out.
They're not. I think they're equally athletic.
God, this never happened at Notre Dame.
But they're just not getting the opportunities. They can't throw them in the first year, second year.
And I think Sean recognizes that. That's why he really didn't want to play Ian Book.
Absolutely.
Sean would rather, I'm telling you, in the future, he's not on the Saints roster. The Saints want a veteran. They don't want to groom nobody. They want to win now. They got a championship defense.
Right.
I don't care whether it's Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers,
Carr.
To me, now, what's going to happen with Deshaun Watson? People might say, oh, Deshaun Watson got to get out of trouble. But supply and demand, there's 32 teams, there's not 32 quality quarterbacks on that level. You could have a handful, but Deshaun Watson, whether he settles the civil suits with all the women that are involved, but he's only like 26 years old. You got to look at how young he is. That's why Deshaun Watson still has a light at the end of the tunnel. But like, who's that second tier? And look what the instability with Gruden and the Raiders. Look what Derek Carr has done.
Man, I would take Derek Carr.
So in a Sean Payton offense, but it's just supply and demand. There's not enough guys.
But Doc, let me tell you, what there's a supply of? Receivers. It's the glamour position where years ago you wanted to play quarterback. Now you want to play wide receiver.
Dr. Pat, Joe Burrow, you can't coach what Joe Burrow has.
Nope.
That's from within. There ain't too many human beings like that. So people think, oh, we're just going to coach him somebody else. They ain't no Joe Burrow.
We'll be back with more Sports on the Bayou.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Ida, insurance companies may try to pay you much less than your losses or even deny your claim altogether. St. Martin and Bork and Hoffest of All are partnering together to help you during this difficult time. Our hurricane insurance recovery attorneys will fight for you and your loved ones. Go to myidaclaim.com for your free case review today. Never give up because your insurance company has denied your claim, and never accept a lowball offer. Let St. Martin and Bork and Hoffest of All help you weather the storm. Visit myidaclaim.com today.
If you have nasal breathing difficulties, snoring, mouth breathing, gritting and grinding of your teeth, TMJ, or headaches during the day, along with fatigue, depression, weight gain, you may have sleep apnea, which can easily be diagnosed via an in-office visit and home sleep study. If you or a loved one are having these symptoms and it's impacting your life, please schedule an appointment with us for an evaluation.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. You'll remember LaFouche. And by St. Martin and Bork, attorneys at law. Know your rights. Sports on the Bayou corporate sponsors are South Louisiana Bank, i.e. Terrebonne General Health Systems and their Community Sports Institute. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. And BioPure, disinfecting environmental services. Now let's go back to Sports on the Bayou with Mike Detillier, Bobby Hebert, and Rich Maury.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou. Martin, throw it to you.
You know, Mike, when you asked me about that track team in South Terrebonne, those that came before us, we had some exceptional athletes. Coach Bill Vincent coached at Patterson. Then he went to Lamar. And I want to ask him, who's the greatest athlete you ever coached?
Well, this was pre-Dalton Hilliard. So it was Louis Lepre. The Lepre family was sort of like the Hilliard family over there, but they were earlier. And he was an all-state linebacker and made the all-star team his senior year. And from there, he went on into business, and they're prominent in the Iberia area and Patterson area and sports sales and what have you. But he was the best, and if I'd have had Dalton Hilliard, I'd have been a great coach.
But Coach, got to ask you something because I know a little bit about it. Dalton and his brother, baseball player. Man, you talk about some dudes that could hit a baseball.
Oh.
They were unbelievable baseball players.
They were sort of like, say, Coach Spinelli you'll talk to in a while, and also like Pop Gun here. They were athletes that played in all sports.
Yep.
They played basketball, baseball, football, and if they'd had a track over there, they'd have ran track all
Yeah, whatever the season.
That's
I mean,
right.
it wasn't
Whatever
like
the
you just
season.
playing one thing. Okay, what we play? I don't know, it's basketball season. We played basketball, track, baseball, whatever the season was you were playing.
But now they're specialties.
Yeah, it's special, yeah. But you know what, you talk about the New Iberia area, and you look, because, you know, he kind of went out of sight, out of mind, like another Hilliard, Ike Hilliard.
Ike, yeah.
You look, he goes to Florida, the Giants, and now he's an NFL coach. It's
Johnny
amazing.
Hector was from there,
Johnny
right?
Hector,
Johnny
New
Hector.
Iberia.
He was in our era.
Yeah, Johnny Hector was,
Johnny
I
could
think,
play.
when we were in high school, Martin.
Yeah, he was a hell of a track guy, too.
And they played with the Jets.
All right, we're going to move it down. I want to talk to Coach Albert here. And this is a little, now Coach Albert coached some different eras, and I see Terry Bro and Ed Degg, two great athletes over there in their own right. But Coach, not only coach great boy athletes, coach girl athletes too. So you get two picks, Coach. Who's the best boy athlete you ever
The
Uh,
best boy athlete? Well, it's over a period of 40 years that I coached, and there's no doubt it was Harold Haydell.
Yeah, good choice.
I heard of that name.
Man.
Good choice.
And as far as a female athlete, was naturally Michelle Broussard.
Michelle Broussard won 88 games.
She was
0 losses in girls softball.
Yep.
So she didn't have a bad day, you know, like she didn't wake up on the wrong side of the bed, you know, like
Even if she did have a bad day, she was so much ahead of everybody.
Right.
But
It didn't show up.
Coach put girls softball on the map, and it just blossomed from there. It really did.
Yeah, but it's easy to coach when you have people like them playing for you.
Point him in the right direction.
Yeah, that's all you got to do.
All right, Coach Melvin Spinella, and we're going to buy a couple of minutes, Jay, because we're not going to shut the legends off.
All right.
And before we get to his favorite player, I got to ask you about that track situation one time when Raymond Winters, Mike Goche, and Archie Talbot, you sent them on a little running expedition through the city of Houma. What happened after that?
Let's see, they were around Ellendale Country Club, and my wife was coming back from Morgan City, and she saw these kids running, and they were actually walking, and she picked them up and gave them a ride back to the school. And I found out about it. They didn't know who she was. So
that was it. That's pretty incredible. And did you make the team run the next day?
Oh, they ran a little bit.
The reason I know that story, my brother Mike was on that team. He said the whole team ran till they threw up. That's the old coaching days.
Yeah,
back
yeah,
then.
oh yeah.
But look, you got two guys over there. Now,
Ed
Harry
Dago and Terry
didn't
Bro.
have you coaches, but Ed Degg and Terry Bro, two great athletes, but
very, very good athletes.
And that's why I want to say it, because I know they're probably not your top, right?
Well, it's hard to say.
So that's a no.
I'm not going to embarrass
I'm leading the
them.
witness. I'm leading the witness. Let me walk away. Go ahead.
No. No, we've had some good athletes at Vanderbilt and Terrebonne, and I coached for 20 years and got out and made a little money. Made some money, more than I was in coaching anyway. We had great athletes at Vanderbilt when I was there. These two young men were great athletes. We've had Pat Gordon, which was Barry Blackwell, Eddie McCullough. You know, I could name you 10 of them right now. I just can't remember. I'm 81 years old and my memory is gone.
Hey, you had a guy named Alan Dumont.
Alan was a great athlete in more than one sport. He ran basketball, football, and track also.
Yeah, he was a great sport.
But I would say the most, oh boy, I'm putting me on a spot now. Mike Robichaux.
Oh yeah.
he was probably, I don't know if you guys would agree with it, but he got hurt in our semifinal game, and we got down to the 4-yard line, 1st and goal, and we couldn't score. And he got hurt before that. And if we'd have won that, we'd have been in the state playoffs, and I'm sure we'd have won state.
Mike Robichaud went to Oklahoma State, started for 4 years.
Well,
yeah,
right there.
He did. I want to ask y'all a question. Who picks the offensive line for the Saints? Because they are horrible.
Well, the thing is, everybody's sick, or they got COVID, or they hurt. Because it's
no,
like
these guys wasn't hurt or COVID. They were playing the other night, and I swear.
You're talking about Cesar Ruiz. Yeah, that was a first-round player that is not a first-round.
They actually got paid.
University of Michigan, he has not lived up to expectations. I think McCoy has not getting better at center for Texas A&M. But you have to realize.
These guys are great, but these guys that are behind them, I don't know where they played.
Now I see what y'all went through. He just tells it like it is.
I mean, I played, college ball, but these guys are horrible.
Well,
as big as they are.
They are not too active. We spoil the Saints fans because we've had about as good as it gets with Drew Brees in the interior. When we had Jari Evans, when we had Carl Nicks, when we had Ben Grubbs, when we had Larry Wolford, now we don't have any of those cats.
As I go to the break,
Max Unger at center. We don't have
As I go to the break, I might have to
next
week. I might have to bring Coach Spinell up and sit him right next to Rich Marty up there.
But the one thing, Coach, I can tell you is that now, to be held accountable, you got to be available. If you look at Ryan Ramczyk, he always was healthy. Then his knee has a knee injury. I think they didn't put him on injured reserve, so he had a setback, and he got hurt in practice, so he hasn't played. Then you got Teron Armstead. Teron Armstead at left tackle, as good as it gets. But he's a high performance, like car, like a Lamborghini or Ferrari. He's hell when he's well. I don't know, he misses a spark plug or something. So we have the best duo of tackles, but you got to have them on the field. And our offensive line was supposed to be our strength. Right now, it's our weakness.
Yes, it is.
You're right. You're right about that.
Very weak.
We'll be back with more sports on the Bayou.
Over the years, Louisiana's Cajun Bayou has seen more than its fair share of challenges. We're no strangers to adversity, and we know what it's like to struggle. These are unprecedented times, and while people will say this time is like nothing they've ever seen, we've heard that before, and just like all the other times, we'll get through this. Remember the good times. Remember LaFourche.
There are many strengths in our cancer center. I think one of the biggest is patients don't have to go elsewhere to get technology for their diagnosis and treatment of their cancer. Our treatment machine, the linear accelerator, allows us to pinpoint and treat cancers with more accuracy than ever was possible before. Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center provides leading-edge technology with the highest quality care and the best treatment options unique to each patient.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. You'll remember LaFourche. And by St. Martin and Bourke, attorneys at law. Know your rights. Now let's go back to Sports on the Bayou with Mike Detillier, Bobby Hebert, and Rich Marty.
Thank you for watching. We'll be back next week with another version of Sports on the Bayou. Beat them Falcons.
Who that? Go to the postseason. Come on. We gotta beat the Lance in LA.